Is this better?
Hey, there's a sticker on the floor under your desk that says, "Hey, I'm here."
It does. Guess what?
You're not there, but you're here.
I am right here.
That's misleading, the sticker.
Hi, I am right here in this room.
But there's all sorts of stuff on your floor. Does anyone clean in here?
Not on my floor.
Apparently.
Apparently. Yeah, very obviously.
All right. Well, if you're looking for anything that you can't find, it may be on the floor.
Including that dried up cranberry.
Oh.
Yummy.
I don't think that's a cranberry.
It is. I remember dropping it.
That's funny.
So how are you, Bill?
Well, I was just going to ask you, how's it going? It's Friday. I'm all right. I was better like 45 minutes ago, and then I just had this brain fog came over me. And
have you eaten today?
No. Oh, you know what I ate?
Eat that Reese's, you'll probably feel better.
Well, I ate a lot of M&Ms earlier.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm. I've been eating sugar. Do you ever eat sugar?
Not really. I really don't eat sugar very often.
What did Will Ferrell and Elf say the categories of foods were? Sugar was one of them.
I don't remember.
That's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
How's it going?
It's going all right. I'm feeling a little agitated and overstimulated right now in this moment.
I get the agitated. I'm not sure about the overstimulated. Is that from stuff that goes on around here? Like
I just think I was like doing way too much at one time. It's also my best friend's birthday, RIP.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It's tough.
That's a very hard one.
Tough. It's lots of grief. Lots of weird feelings and emotions. But you know what? I'm here and we're doing the damn thing.
We are. I'm glad because we're being consistent and that's a good thing. Earlier, you showed me a video that you put together in an hour, which was amazing. You were just showing off. But it's because I'm assuming it's for a presentation you're doing?
Yeah, it's for the Ham Here campaign. It was one of my contents. So they're going to post it on their social medias.
It's really cool. And it's badass watch. And you had some really good stuff in there.
I wrote it myself.
I knew that because you're a good writer. But I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you were pretty specific about a year ago, you were in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Was that kind of like the place I was in a year ago? Part of it? Overlap?
I think I was just an anxious mess.
Okay.
I was just an anxious, dissociated mess. I think a lot of it was dissociation was a huge aspect of what I went through a year ago because I was compartmentalizing and pushing stuff away.
Do you mind telling what that looked like? So,
I was very foggy-headed. I was very not in my body, not in my brain, very slowed speech, trouble finding words, just couldn't concentrate, couldn't think. My memory was all kinds of jacked up. I was living in slow motion.
Okay.
And just like not really in touch with my emotions and just, excuse me, very easily dysregulated. I think I said this last time, or maybe I said it to you, but like when my car broke down this year, my car broke down in a parking lot, and it was a very stressful experience that didn't feel very stressful to my nervous system because I didn't let it, which was huge.
Did you know that at the time?
Yeah. I mean, it was annoying. It was frustrating, of course. But it didn't feel like the end of the world where it would have a year ago if that would have happened. Because like a year ago, it was like every single thing felt like the end of the world to me.
Yeah.
Everything felt like a huge deal. It felt like life or death. And it was just really hard to navigate life because every single thing I had, like somebody would come in here and ask me to do something. And it was like they wanted me to move mountains is what it felt like. Mm-hmm. Which is just, not how it's supposed to be, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took me a long time to kind of like get to the place I'm at now where I can take on my car breaking down and then the car that I borrowed breaking down. And then just kind of laugh about it and like be okay with it. And somebody coming in my office extremely dysregulated and, I'm able to kind of like manage that. There's still times when, my firefighter, shout out to IFS, Internal Family Systems, my firefighter will come in and make me go away, which is dissociate. And every time it's so funny because it's just like, here's Johnny. Every time I mention it, it says, here I am, it says, hello. My dissociation starts to kind of act up and I have to help. regulated in this moment. Like, hey, girl, don't need you right now. Appreciate you wanting to keep me safe, but we're cool. We're safe. We're fine. We're calm. We're regulated. Don't need you right now.
There's a lot there. Let me ask you a question because I don't have any experience with dissociation. So I didn't realize, or in my mind, it didn't go this way, that you knew something was trying to take over.
Yeah, it's different for different people.
Makes sense.
So dissociation is really a scale.
Okay.
You fall on a different spectrum of the scale. There's also different types of dissociation. There's also dissociative disorders where you have alters and things like that. For me, my dissociation is really what I call going away. So it's derealization, where nothing looks real, and depersonalization, where I don't feel in my own body.
Mhm.
And I am actively aware when that's happening. Sometimes not right away. It took me a long time to figure it out. But yeah, when I do dissociate, I am cognizant of it. And I am getting to the point where I'm able to manage it and kind of deter it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, which is really it's really interesting, and I was not aware of how prevalent and prominent dissociation was for me my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
and how much of a factor it was in my dysregulation and in my ability to navigate the world. So now that I'm specifically tackling that, because it's gotten better lately, this year especially, but last year it was the worst it's ever been.
You had a lot of bad stuff last year.
Yeah, there was a lot of moving parts, but I think that things are on the up and up. I'm out of my noisy ass house now, so that's good.
That's huge. And those are big recognizations. Those are big things to know about dissociation, about when you're doing that. So when you started, though, don't let me put words in your mouth. That's just how you learn to grow up, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Now you're having to unravel that.
Mm-hmm. It was a natural. I mean, I remember ever since I've been really, really little. Oh my gosh, I remember being so small and dissociating. And daydreaming is like, everybody dissociates to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Like daydreaming is a form of dissociation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like that, but like times 10, So like I just remember being a young girl and like just experiencing that, because I had to dissociate from my body. I had to dissociate from myself to survive the things that I went through.
Right.
And so it was just a coping mechanism for my body and for my brain to get me through all the really, really hard stuff, which I'm thankful for it. I'm very blessed that my brain did what it needed to do in those moments. But it's just about learning and teaching my brain and my body that it's safe now, and allowing them to connect with one another, because I talk about them as if they are separate, because that's very much how it feels for me right now.
Yep.
But yeah, just bringing that awareness and allowing that safety to come, and realizing, like, helping my dissociative part realize that, like, hey girl, we're cool now. You don't have to, like, I drop a spoon on the floor, you don't have to make me dissociate, because it's just not that big of a deal anymore.
Are you actually having that conversation with this other part of you?
Yes. I treat my symptoms, all of them, most of them, truthfully, as if they are separate from me.
You mentioned that before, and I like that.
Yeah. I almost like anthropomorphize them.
Yep.
In a way.
Yeah, I get that.
Just to, I don't know, it's a concept that I learned about in therapy, that my therapist kind of told me to do. And then when you do a lot of like somatic work, that's kind of what they have you do. It doesn't work for everybody, but it's really helpful for me to know that like these symptoms are not at the core who I am, because for so long they were a part of my personality. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to like learn who I am.
Do you, let me ask this wrong. I've been thinking that.
Let me ask this wrong.
That my consciousness, me, when I say me, I don't mean my brain. I don't mean my body. My body and my brain are two things that work for me. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like your soul.
Yeah, exactly.
Your soul, your spirit, your essence.
So it sounds like you have an identification of yourself that is strong enough now that you can identify these other things and say, I appreciate it, I'm okay.
I don't know if that's true to the full extent. but I am able to understand and recognize what's a trauma response, what is a symptom, and what's like a normal reaction, I guess, like a normal human reaction. I think that who I am and my spirit, my soul, my essence is still being formed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody's is to a certain extent, but a lot of people got to develop a sense of self, and I never really did. So, though I'm sure everybody that you talk to about like who I am as a person would be able to tell you about myself and like characteristics of me that like make sense. I'm still trying to figure out what I like, what I don't like, who I really truly am at the core of my being outside of, surviving.
Yeah, I understand that. And you're way ahead of me because I'm going through the same thing. I'm 112 years behind you. But it's important stuff.
Yeah, because what they don't like, and I'm going to talk about this in another aspect, not here on this podcast, but what they don't really tell you about going through complex trauma, or they do tell you that, but not a lot of people talk about it, is that you don't really get to develop a sense of self. You don't get to have a childhood, really. Mm-hmm. You don't get to all those formative experiences that you get to have as a kid of like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. You never get to really have that because you're stuck in, your body is just focused on, in this moment I'm going to survive. In this moment, we have to do what we have to do and go through the motions to get through today or to get through this experience. Mm-hmm. And so I never really felt like I got a full chance to build a core personality of like who I really am. Mm-hmm. But I do like to say that a lot of who I am is just fragments of all of the people I've ever loved. And I think that that's just like a really beautiful experience because I love becoming interested in things. And I love hearing what people love and what makes them tick and what makes them passionate. And there were parts of my journey that I really like fell in love with things. And those are very core parts of who I am. And I may have fell in love with them because they helped me through my journey, but I fell in love with them nonetheless, which are like hip hop and writing and dancing.
Those are great things. And it's cool that you had them as tools, but like you said, those are great things to have interest in your whole life, whether you're neurotypical or not. So how do you go about as an adult figuring out what you like and what you don't like?
Lots of inner child healing. Doing stuff that I wanted to do as a kid that I never got to do. It's really at the core of it. That's what it is. Go to water parks. Go ride roller coasters. Go go-karting. Play laser tag. Go to Dave & Buster's. Like all of these fun like kid things.
Okay, all those things made me really excited.
Yeah.
I have a Kings Island pass.
We should definitely go.
Yes, please. I haven't
been to Kings Island in so long. I would love to go.
It's wonderful. And having a pass, you can go and just walk around. You don't have to ride anything. It's wonderful. And you mentioned water parks. And I'll throw this at you because you kind of live near this place now. Remember Coco Key on 75?
Yes.
So I stayed at that hotel one time a few years ago. And my friend and I were checking in.
Is it still Coco Key?
No, it's still there though. It's late. And so I'm like, what's going on with this water park? This has been boarded up for years. And the person that was working the night desk, she goes, it's freaky as in there. I don't go in there. It's really scary. And I'm like, oh, we got to break in there sometime. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be so fun. Mm-hmm. And that would definitely be healing to my inner child. We should do that.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Because I remember going there.
I do too.
I remember going to, that would just be such a really interesting experience. Same thing with the beach water park. We should break in there too.
I did that. I have a video for you. Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't break in. The gate was open.
Oh, you could just walk on in?
I drove in. And so there's a van. It's like old and beat up and it's parked down like, I don't know, a quarter of a mile away. And it starts driving up to me. And it's these two, I don't know, just two dudes that I guess were security. That I mean, it was horrible. Yeah. They didn't chase me out, but I drove right past the gate and I stopped.
That's really cool. I remember going to dance parties there when I was a kid.
Oh.
And that's what I feel like is wrong with society now. We're not in the club enough. we're not dancing enough. We're not hanging out with people as a community enough, you know?
And that's the third time you mentioned dancing, and you're right. And it goes to a lot of different things, singing and being loud and making noise because you're happy.
I got into a fight with DJ Toad one time.
Okay, tell them.
Not a fist fight. But, because I have this thing where, like, in another life somewhere, in another timeline of my life, I'm a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, this is when the beach water park was having Extreme, which was rebranded as Club Splash.
That'd be cool.
And where all these, like, teeny boppers, so we were teenagers in high school, would go to the beach water park in the front. You remember, like, the front water park where, like, the shallow is, but, like, really warm water there? Mm-hmm. That's where we would dance. And
so this is when you were younger. So are you spinning? Now that's what I call music.
No.
Boy, mate.
They were, it was like, so I was really up and hip on, like, all the new music before a lot of other people were in that time. And there was a new song out that had recently dropped by Big Sean, if you remember. It's called Ass. Ass. That's literally how the song goes. And drop, now make that mother hammer time is how the song goes. It had just come out. Everybody was, like, going absolutely bananas for it. And DJ Toad at the time, which I think he's still a DJ, so shout out, was playing. He was just spinning the worst, like, and nobody was dancing. People would dance for a little. It was one of those things where, like, he didn't know the ebb and the flow. Right. So, like, people would dance and then he'd like go into another song and then the other song would be a dud and then everybody would leave and then he'd play another song and it was like, okay, let's go back to the dance floor. And then the next one would be a dud. It was never consistent.
He wasn't reading the pool well.
Right. He was not. No, he was not reading the room. So after, like, 3 duds in a row, and this was when technology started getting pretty cool. So they had a screen up there where you could text a number and request a song.
Yep.
So I got my little slide phone out and I texted DJ Toe. I said, play this song. And then I did it, like, I waited like half an hour goes by. And then he didn't play it. I send it again. I'm standing. I send it when I'm standing in the middle of all these people who are just standing around talking and not dancing like this. Locking eyes with DJ Toad. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Huh? What's going on? Play something worth it. And I literally texted DJ Toad, please play some bangers. And then no bangers were played. And so I literally texted him, play Ash by Big Sean while I'm looking at him. I send it. And I go like this.
That's awesome.
And he goes like this to me. And he goes, and I'm like, play the song. I'm, like, literally making eye contact. I'm play the song. And he's like shooing me off. And I'm like, DJ Toad, play the song. And I'm, like, yelling at him at this point. I'm like, play the fucking song. And he's like, don't tell me what to do.
Uh-oh.
Because, like, I'm a little kid and he's a grown adult. But I'm telling him how to do his job. So then he plays another song where, like, I don't even remember what song it was, but it was, like, stupid. And then everybody leaves the dance floor. It's literally, I'm not kidding you, me and maybe 7 other people on the dance floor. When this is normally, like, a packed, like, 50-plus people event.
Yeah, this shouldn't be that hard to do.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and then so I'm just standing there still with my arm crossed while there's, like, 7 people around me. And I say, you gonna play the song now? Because look what you just did. Like,
way to clear a room out.
Yeah, I said, you must have farted because these people cleared out. Like, and I'm just sitting here, like, just being a bitch because that's what I used to be. I used to be a big bitch. And then I went up to him and I said, you gonna play my song now or what? And he was like, he said something really funny, like, are you gonna stop being rude? He said, if I play this song, will you leave me alone, kind of thing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, absolutely. You'll never hear from me for the rest of the night. But if you want to do your job correctly, you probably would want to hear from me for the rest of the night because I'll help you out, kind of situation. So then he ends up playing my song. And I am not kidding you. The swarm of people that flew to the dance floor when that song started playing was honestly iconic. And I was still up on the wooden steps next to the DJ booth when this happened.
Oh, so you got to see the whole flood.
I watched them come from, like, the bathroom drink area.
That's awesome.
Flood out into one big group, and flow over onto the dance floor. This was like 50 plus people at one time, stampeding to the dance floor at Beachwater Park. And then I'm just sitting here like this, watching everybody go absolutely bananas as this song plays. And I look over at him and I say, and he just shakes his head at me because I was right. He just shook his head and didn't say anything else. And I said, listen to me next time. And then I go out there and I start dancing.
How do you do from there?
It was getting close to the end of the night, so that was pretty much the peak of the night.
That's pretty cool. How old were you?
I don't even remember. When did that song come out?
So, well, here's where I'm going.
When did Big Sean's song Ass come out? 2011. So I would have been a junior in high school.
Okay. So that's when you were still feisty, physically.
Yeah. I was very scrappy.
Scrappy
back then.
It was about, it was 5 years ago in 10 days now that you were at my house and you said, let's don't talk about it. Let's be about it. Let's bang. I'm going to go to her house and knock on the door and beat her up.
I don't even remember what was that was in reference to.
I don't know, but she was in a bad position because she was going to get her ass kicked by you. And apparently it didn't happen, so that's good. Thanks for not taking it out on DJ Toad.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a DJ story for you.
Okay.
I got married one time, and we had a DJ, and we went to interview him, and I said, play good stuff. The only thing you can't play is The Dance by Garth Brooks. You know that song? It's stupid. It's like, I'm glad we met. I wish it would have worked out differently, right?
Oh, okay. You wouldn't want that to play at a wedding.
Fuck no. So he starts that 3 times, and I have to run over there every time and tell him no. And then it became kind of a joke. Like, what would the worst wedding DJ be? And it turned into like, all right, for all you dads out there, here's some Harry Chapin Carpenter. Is that right? Harry Chapin Carpenter? No, it's Mary Chapin Carpenter. Are they related? Remember that song, Cats in the Cradle?
Cats in the Cradle in the silver spoon. Yeah. Blowing a man on a moon.
Play that. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was like, it's a wedding. It's supposed to be a happy thing. I don't play stupid stuff. But we didn't get in a fight.
I would have.
I know.
I would have pulled a DJ Toad on him and been like, what the fuck are you doing?
So, that's my DJ story. I like yours better. Yours had a better ending.
So, speaking of.
Yeah.
Music and songs and DJs.
Oh, yeah. We got to do our playlist.
I finished my playlist.
Let's give it enough time. So, you go through yours.
I'm sending it in the chat. It is unlisted. So only the people who are in this chat today get access to it.
Awesome.
So here's the soundtrack to my life.
What approach did you take? Do you want to tell that?
I just really honestly, where I was before doing the rise and the fall of the music and all that jazz, I instead did songs that were like very important to the trajectory of my journey.
I like that.
And so I added them all in here. So they go as follows in no particular order. I did try to order them a little bit in terms of like years and stuff. But the first one I put is Nas, I Can. I know I can be what I want to be.
I got kind of hung up on
if I work hard at it.
Sorry. I don't want you go through yours first.
What did you get hung up
on?
on?
I got hung up on the timing thing too, because I was trying to, when I made my list, I was trying to start like in the beginning, you know, but that music was so terrible back in the 70s and 60s. I mean, it just was. So I like that. I may rearrange a little bit, but I like that you didn't do it in chronological order.
No, I didn't. I was going to, but then I was like, you know what? I can't. It's stressing me out. So I didn't.
Stressing me out.
And then Through the Wire, Kanye. So those are really like the 2 songs that got me into hip hop specifically.
Okay.
14 years ago. Holy cow. And I just remember being in my garage hearing Through the Wire for the first time by Kanye, and I was like, this is scary. And it's so good. And it's so moving.
I love that when you remember hearing a song for the first time.
Yeah.
I have very few of those.
I remember the Nas song too, because I was sitting on my couch in our family room and I was feeling really bad. But I would always watch MTV, TRL and stuff. And like MTV in the morning. And it was one of those days like where it was like the morning time, like I was feeling really down and I was feeling really neglected. Story of my life. And I was just like not feeling good. And I was real little at this time. I was about to go to elementary school, I think.
Man.
And this video, and maybe I was older, I don't remember, but I just remember being young. And this video comes on, and it's Nas. I know I can, and a bunch of kids. Be what I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be. Be. And then I just remember hearing his flow, and like it was nothing I'd ever heard before in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd never been subjected to that like style before, that like poetry, like just the beauty of it. And it really like cheered me up and lifted up my spirits and really like made me feel good about my life and myself.
Are you interpreting that as an adult, or you remember thinking those things?
No, I remember at the time thinking that.
That's really cool.
Because it was such, and that's why I remember it, because it was so profound for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was such a pivotal experience that I was like, wow, I love this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a similar experience with Through the Wire. I was in my garage listening to it. It came on the radio.
Wow.
And I was like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the coolest experience. And then I have NSYNC, obviously, because I used to dance to NSYNC in my basement. And that's literally no other reason I have NSYNC on there other than I used to literally be obsessed with this album specifically. And I would just dance for hours upon hours.
I was going to a baseball game a couple of years ago at the stadium downtown. And person I was with, we kept passing all these women about my age, maybe a little younger, that were all dressed up like they were going out in the 90s. And I'm like, what is going on? It was NSYNC at like Fifth Third Arena.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Sense. And then I have Talking to Myself by Eminem, because the Recovery album on my freshman year of high school, I would play it every single night before I went to bed. I would fall asleep listening to that album.
Man.
I'd put it in my little DVD player in my TV, and it would lull me to sleep. Do you
still listen to albums all the way through?
Yes, I do specifically, and I listen to them in order as well, because I think that it's important too. And I think I feel like the artist puts it together in a very specific order for a reason.
I do too.
Specifically, which I already think I put some stuff on here for that, but Hypochondriac by Breakins is like one of my favorite albums right now, and has been since it came out. And the transition into each track, seamless. It's so seamless and it's so incredible, and I love it. And then there is Know Why by Kid Cudi, which is starting my depression era. That was one of the songs I used to cry myself to sleep to every night.
How many Kid Cudi songs did you pick?
Just that one.
Did you have trouble with that, or was that an easy one?
No, that was an easy one, because that was such a pivotal song for me. I used to play it on repeat and listen to it all the time. And then I put some songs on here from my emo phase, so some Cartel, some Emarosa. I have Led Zeppelin's Black Dog, because it's just it was my first step into classic rock of that type.
Mm-hmm.
And it really helped me like fall in love with that genre first. Mm-hmm. So then I could really get into all this other cool stuff. So
I did say the 60s and 70s sucked, but Led Zeppelin, that's all right.
Yeah.
Did you say email phase?
Emo phase.
Emo. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then I have Nelly Furtado's I'm Like a Bird, because that song, I'm like a bird and you fly away, always just amps me up, makes me feel really good about my life.
Mm-hmm.
Cherubs, Doses, and Mimosas was one of the songs I used to party to back in the day.
Let me see if I can say that. Hi-am.
Yeah.
Yay.
This relationship. I put this song on here. It's actually a new song. It just came out 4 weeks ago, but I put it on here because it's literally a musical manifestation of all of my romantic relationships. So, except for the one I'm in now. But yeah, it's kind of just like basically where I was at in all my relationships previously.
I was watching TV last night on YouTube, and there was a guy that came on, and he looked just like Evan.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I said, "Hi, Evan." His name wasn't Evan.
What were you watching?
It was a dude's podcast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I put The Ghost Inside Engine 45 because I love that band. They are, I don't even know what their genre would be, but they're more on like the harder side, like harder post-hardcore. But very good band, very monumental in my healing journey. Just great great band all around. Then I put Renee Rapp's Talk Too Much because I feel like it's basically my life in general. Role Models, Look at That Woman for obvious reasons, but because it's just my amp up song.
That's a great song.
Yeah. Arlo Parks, Black Dog. I put 2 Black Dogs on here because depression is something I really deal with.
Are they different?
They are different.
Okay.
And Arlo Parks was really pivotal in my healing journey as well. Her like poetry and her album and that song specifically, just really monumental.
You know, quickly, you can, if you write a song, you can copyright your lyrics, but you cannot copyright the title.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So there could be a million Black Dogs.
Wow. I put Old Recliners by Role Model because it's my hyperfixation song. I put Broods by Peach because it's such a positive song.
What's a hyperfixation song?
A hyperfixation song is a song that I cannot stop listening to.
Okay. Oh, I got one of those.
And then I also have to put Breakin's Hypochondriac on here because it's me. That's who I am. We're going to save this to the playlist. And that's it. That's all I got.
Is there anything that you left off that you wanted to put on?
Yeah, the break-ins for sure. There's probably so many that like I'll remember later on, and I'll probably honestly keep adding to this list because I want to.
Wait, were those recommended? No Diggity's not on your list, is it?
No, these are recommended
Okay.
songs.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe don't go chasing waterfalls.
I'm trying to learn No Diggity on the guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. I'm trying to come up with hip hop songs or, songs that you don't think of as guitar songs.
Mm-hmm. I got a few of those I can send you.
That'd be awesome. You're really good.
So that's my list. Short, sweet, to the point.
Your list is really good.
Thanks.
I'm gonna. Can I do mine next time so we have enough time?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Thank you.
But like, I just picture all of the songs playing in the background of different aspects of my life.
Yeah.
And it just like fits. So that's why I chose those.
How was the exercise for you? It
was pretty fun. It helped me go back and like remind me of all the songs I used to listen to back in the day that I really enjoyed. So it's good. Good experience.
Here's what I like about it. Maybe your experience was the same. That question came out 3 weeks ago, I think. I've been thinking about it for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I've been talking about it, and I told you, I was talking to my friend Melissa, and she's like, "Oh, when you used to buy an album and you'd have to like play it backwards by hand to hear." I'm like, "Oh, I gotta put some of those on there," but I didn't have any. But so that's a genre that's on my list, but I don't have any songs. But that seemed like me, and be like, you can listen to it and it sounds like blah, 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 but if you listen to it backwards, it's gonna make sense. That one, and then Hidden Tracks we talked about.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll do mine. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah.
There was no Dull Water Gap. That's okay.
I do have a song that I could put on there. Alone Together is one of my favorite Dull Water Gap songs. And I have a specific moment in my life where I would play that in the background, so that could definitely be added on there.
I have background songs. I don't remember what you called it, but I like the term for it. The song you can listen to over and over and over.
The hyperfixation?
There you go. So I have an Apple phone, and I use Apple Music sometimes, and this is kind of cool. So I didn't know this until a couple months ago, but for every year, they give you a breakdown of what you listen to, how many times you listen to it. It's pretty cool to go back and look at that.
Yeah, I did my Spotify Wrapped, and then you also have Spotify Wrapped playlists. So they create a playlist on all of your top songs from that year, which is really cool.
I love that, and that's kind of where my memory is just weird. It doesn't work, and so I'm highly fixated on the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of a dark period before that.
Yeah.
That's apropos of nothing. I'm just telling you where it is. So there's some more recent stuff. Move's all good. You're happy with your place. No one's making noise.
Lots of noise, actually.
What?
Yeah, lots of noise underneath us. There's a big family down there, but while they sometimes make noise in the middle of the night and shake my floor, it's not as bad as where I was before, so I'm very still happy.
Are you super light sleeper?
Yes.
Do you think that's because of the way you were raised?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
How's Evan like it?
He loves it. He's so happy.
Good.
He just bought himself some new sheets and new comforter, and he's living large. He's like, oh my God, my bed is so comfortable. He bought himself a new bed and everything, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to need, when we go to Cocoa Key, we're going to need something to put on the slide to make it slick.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking like vegetable oil.
Should we get a potato bag and just slide down with the potato bag?
I mean, like real slick. Like,
you want it to be really slick?
Don't you want us to fly? Oh, wait, there's no water in that pool. Can you imagine? Just scraping your head. Oh, I can imagine that. Scraping your head on
just flying into a concrete.
That'd be much like my scooter accident.
Yeah, literally. Oh, that'd be funny.
But yeah.
But if you heard us say that we're going to break into Cocoa Key, no, you didn't.
No, that wasn't us.
No, that was somebody else.
That's so
Took
funny.
over our bodies.
That happens a lot. Some other people heard that too.
Yeah, it's weird.
So can we mention our other podcast right quick?
Yes, and our issues, if you're keeping up to date and you're watching that, just released an episode with Michael Capage, who is a local artist here in Cincinnati, who does a lot of really great work. Go check that out. There's going to be 3 parts, and part 1's pretty stinking good.
He's one of those cool dudes that is more famous in other places than he is in his hometown, which is, this is not his hometown. He's from Chicago, but because a lot of his money, I think you remember this, comes from wealthy people overseas who like his stuff, and they will say, I would like 3 paintings, and he will say, well, let's talk about it. And they'll say, well, why don't you come to Taiwan and spend 2 weeks with me, get to know me? And so he does that, and then they give him money, and then it's like getting a grant.
Yeah, that's
awesome. So he's got a big show opening up, and
April 19th.
Yeah, and our timing is really good because we only worked on this issue or episode for about 2 years, I think. It was in post for like 2 years. And so it's good timing. And we would like to piggyback a little bit on Michael's success because that's who we are. But he's a friend.
Yeah.
And, I think you like doing the podcast. I'm glad it's coming out. The first episode was really good. I liked it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
It was very good. I'm excited for the next. Do we know when episode 2 is going to drop?
No idea. No. I'll have to ask.
Probably 2027.
If we're lucky.
That's all right. What are you going to do this weekend?
I have Kat's birthday tomorrow. I'm also going to help Maya shop for prom dress, so that's exciting. Tonight I'm probably just going to go to eat and chill, and then Sunday I'm going to like the Dayton area to go with Evan to get a tattoo.
Ooh, who's getting it?
He is.
What's he getting? Do you know?
He's getting his birthday, I think.
Why do you have to go to Dayton?
Because that's where his tattoo artist is.
Oh, that's nice. I don't have a tattoo artist.
It's probably for the best.
Probably, yeah. That's a true statement. Thank you for shutting that down, right? Just like that. That was impressive.
What are you doing this weekend?
Whoa. I hope I'm playing pickleball tomorrow because
that'd be fun.
It was nice yesterday.
Is it going to be nice tomorrow?
I don't know. But it was nice yesterday. So I hope I'm doing that. I can play indoors if it's raining. Oh,
it looks like it's going to be a high of 56 tomorrow.
That
with
works.
sunny day.
That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And if I have any luck, my friend Katie will join us to play pickleball. She keeps threatening, but then not showing up. But that would be fun to be able to beat her soul out on the pickleball court. And then there's not much going on sports-wise this weekend. I'm probably just going to be hanging out. I have been working on just trying to play guitar. Probably
Good.
Doing that. Yeah.
I brought you that one if you want to take it home.
I saw that. Thank you. It's got a cork on it.
It does.
Can you drink out of it?
If you want to.
So yesterday I recorded, there's a song by a band named Oasis. Have you heard of them?
I think so.
Don't Look Back in Anger. And it starts with
Don't tell me what to do.
Right. It starts with the piano. So I recorded the piano part, and then I recorded the guitar part, and then I meshed them together like it's a...
Wow, look at you go. You could start a whole one-man band.
I know, but I need some help with it because it's just missing something. You know what I mean?
A harmonica.
I didn't think that was it, but I hope that you will film me because I want to be famous.
Okay.
And I want you to be famous with me.
I don't think I want to be famous.
I don't want to be famous anymore either. And Thank you for taking that away from me. And it was just a dream I had.
Hey, I didn't take anything away from you. If you want to be famous, be famous. I just don't want that for me.
Can you imagine if I were famous?
Oh my
not following through on anything?
Honestly, it'd be great. It'd be like awesome to see. You would literally change the whole landscape of famous people. It'd be really cool. Don't tell Bill. He's ungovernable.
Exactly. Ungovernable?
Ungovernable, yeah.
That's a great word.
Mm-hmm.
Could that be the title of our podcast?
It can.
Ungovernable.
Just change it from everything you never wanted to know to ungovernable.
I saw a short on YouTube, and it was, I'm not going to tell you who it is yet, and they were just asked 5 or 6 questions. And 2 of the questions were, what's the best advice you ever got? And what's the worst advice you ever got? And the answer to best compliment you ever got and worst advice you ever got. Best compliment I ever got was, you're good enough. Worst advice I ever got was, don't change anything. It was Cat Williams. And when he said the best compliment I ever got was, you're good enough, I went, oh. And then when he said worst advice, and he's like, don't change who you are, I'm like, I like that. Those are good things. I like the idea of always evaluating who you are. So what would your answer be? Oh, he's older than me. I don't know yet.
What would your answer be? What's the worst advice you've gotten? What's the best advice you've gotten? Should we save that for next week?
Probably.
So we can think about it? Let's think about it. So that's a tough question to answer on the spot, though.
Yeah. You'd think, unless something, somebody says something magnanimous to me that just stuck in my head, but it's all Mill is the only voice I ever hear inside me, and it's always take your face to your food, not your food to your face.
That is probably the best advice you've gotten.
Which is great advice.
Yeah.
I mean, saves on the laundry bills. So okay, I'll think about that.
Yeah,
you think about that.
I'll think about that too.
And then I'll do I'll share my playlist.
Sounds good. Well, I think that's it for us today.
All right.
It's a good riveting conversation. Thanks for hanging out and checking out my playlist and listening to my life story and asking me all those questions. It's good stuff.
Hey, when do you do the you're going to be on my podcast. Do you know when that is? Rattling turtle.
It's going to be a never-ending journey. I'm going to keep recording pieces of the podcast over the course of a few months because it's like a story format. So I'm not physically going to go and be on it. I am recording pieces and bits for the whole overarching story.
Oh, that's even better for you because then you can just enjoy it when it comes out.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool.
That's a nice thing.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, have a great weekend. Tell Evan hi. What's up with the rattling turtle?
It's my new fidget toy. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
That'll be the title. What's up with the rat?